Welcome back, everybody. This is Mdad, the Wandering Londoner, and today we have a Freedom Cup special on the Sports Show where pride, power, and passion come together on the pitch on behalf of our community. Today, I have three special guests with me, many of whom are guests and also friends of the show. And we'll be talking in the next 60 minutes. It will be an action-build show talking about the Freedom Cup, the concept behind the Freedom Cup, it's the thinking behind it, what it entails, and what is to come this exciting summer's weekend coming up. So our introductions, as in order from right to left, we have Rashid Ali, Chair of the Inner London Football League, here with us. Welcome to the show. And we have our friend Anfur Ali, who's also here. He's the Secretary of Active 50. We know Anfur Bhai has many hats that he puts on as well. So today he'll be representing the Freedom Cup panel here in the show as the Secretary of Active 50. And lastly, we have Said Salik, our big brother, veteran football player, who is the chairman of Active 50. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Rashid, as a celebrated individual running many football competitions for several years and decades, can you please give us an idea of the concept of the Freedom Cup?
Both RFL and 50 Active, we sat and discuss how do we promote Bangladesh, and specifically the 26th March 1971. It's a special date, a date that we felt in the recent years has been forgotten. The new generation, younger brothers, sisters, are not realizing the importance of that date, what it meant to us Bangladeshi Bengalis in UK in terms of remembering thousands of millions that lost lives to fight for the independence. And for me, it's important, like we discussed, to promote that date so that the next generation remember how Bangladesh was formed, and what date it was formed, and what happened. So that if we do a means of football tournament, it starts the discussion. They will talk about exactly what happened. They'll talk about Bangladesh. They'll remember our roots. So we're trying to ignite people for discussion about Bangladesh, the start of it, and they can go back home. They remember the family, the roots. So it was important for us as to football organization to use the means of football to, in a way, promote Bangladesh, and not to forget, because if you look back, our grandparents, many uncles, aunties, family members lost lives, injured, just so that we can call it Bangladesh. So it's important that we respect, honor those, and in any shape or form. And football is one of the ways we feel that can promote that.
Anfur Bhai, how many Freedom Cups have been organized? And talk about some of the highlights over the years.
Thank you, Mdad. Thank you, LB24, for having us. This is going to be our 5th year. So, Alhamdulillah, so far, the past 4 years, we very successfully delivered the tournament. Like Rashid Bhai said, the whole intention was to highlight the Independence Day and remember with respect all these people who lost their lives to give us Bangladesh. Bangladesh is, our Bangladesh is very close to us, although we are in UK. And it's very important that our younger generation, the young groups, knows how, where the parents are from and how we've been, Bangladesh, how did Bangladesh happen and how did we get the independence? So yes, also what Rashid Bhai said, it's a unique tournament. Every day we do a tournament, football tournament, but I feel this is a unique one, being a Bangladeshi and remembering Bangladesh and teaching the youngsters about Bangladesh, bringing all Bengalis together from all parts of UK, celebrating, playing football, bring the community together. I think, Alhamdulillah, this is what, the community, this is what the two organizations meshed together and working hard to deliver.
And the Freedom Cup itself, it's more than a competition. For me, it's a movement. Now, Said Bhai, you and I, we've got very fond memories when we talk about movement and legacy and using football as a legacy to bring the community together, to create awareness, unity, but also to educate our youngsters going forward. And the Freedom Cup is such an opportunity. Not only is it about bringing fantastic football players from bygone eras, and also their latest upcoming fresh vets coming who are appearing on the stage, but also just communicating via football through. Now, you and I, we're talking about. I just mentioned about, we have a memory together that when Sunali Otit did the District Cup, for example, and I had the honor of being the over 50s manager where you played and you actually lifted the cup. But the point I'm trying to mention is this: what we used to talk about at that time, Saeed Bhai, was always about legacy. You know what? A lot of those players, and because it was the first 50s Cup, we had several players who were not fresh 50. They were in their mid to late 50s. In fact, that was the only tournament that they played they could play, because the following year, the quality in terms of fitness for the over 50s coming through was just too much for those who had established them. So it's very, very important for us, A, to try and lift it for Sylhet, but also to try and set the legacy for these glorious players from a bygone era. So, as I've just mentioned now, it's more than a competition, it's a movement, the Freedom Cup. Why is football legacy important?
There you go. Thank you, Hamdad. Thank you for having us. I think if you look back, especially when we actually grew up, our generation, football actually played quite a fundamental role within the community. I think for us, football was really important, very important to kind of keep us together, keep that unity going. So I think we continued playing football, not only playing football, but that legacy that you're actually talking about, just carrying that legacy. So we continued and we carried that legacy on. And for us now to actually pass that over to the new generation who are actually growing up, for them to actually learn, for them to actually continue what we've done, and for them to actually continue. But in doing so, I think the topic here really is the Freedom Cup and what's behind, the story behind that, and how that actually connects us all. And thinking back, everybody who's actually participating, who's actually associated with the tournament, either they were very young when the actual independence movement took place. For myself, I was very young, and there's a few people who actually were born, and most people who are actually participating in this competition weren't actually born during that time. So I think it's very important that we actually keep that going, and it's been mentioned before that we talk about it. The people who are actually participating, they talk about it, they learn about it, they know about the roots, they know about what actually happened, and the movement, the struggles that our fathers, our grandfathers, the generation before us, the struggles that they went through, the hardship they went through. They need to understand that. And the only way you can actually do that is if we discuss this, if we talk about this, and if we have a platform where we can actually do that. And I believe what we've got here, the Freedom Cup, that actually gives you that. It gives you that platform so that we can actually start talking, start asking questions, and learn from it all.
Thank you. Rashid, if I remember correctly, this was a one-off football tournament. It was to celebrate Bangladesh reaching the grand old age, or the beautiful age of 50. But people like yourselves have had your arm twisted quite severely, say, look, you need to carry on with this. And every single year on year, this has now snowballed, and it's become bigger and bigger and better and faster. Why? There's so much football taking place.
A lot of people, and there is evidence, because even my kids and some other people asked the question. For example, they didn't know there is a Shahid Minar in Al Tabali Park. What does that represent? They didn't know exactly what 26 March, when you see certain people putting that post, what does that mean? So the discussion already started. And because it was such a close emotional attachment to the 26 March 1971 with all the players, not just within the town, but London, throughout the UK, because we have teams from Birmingham, Luton, Oldham, etc. Everyone felt a connection because it's back home, it's Bangladesh. And that's why the tournament was successful on the 50th. We had to do something to celebrate 50th anniversary in 2021. So I think because of the success, the demand was there. And every year they ask us, when is it? Because it's something they feel a personal attachment, because it ignites that memory of their forefathers, grandparents, etc. I think that because of that emotional connection, it's more of a prestige to say want to win this tournament. They feel a bit attached because, yes, they play a lot of tournaments, a lot of the players, but that's not, they don't have that personal attachment. And I think this is the uniqueness of this tournament.
Can you tell us a little bit about the setup for Sunday? Age categories.
Okay, for Sunday, we've just before I go go to that, when in 2021 we thought about the actual project. It was such unique because it was the 50 years of celebration Bangladesh independence, and for the players who turned 50 were able to play. So everything was such a unique way it was planned. Yes, it was such a the legacy way, I would say. All right, coming back to the setup. So we got two groups, the 50 plus. We have 10 teams in the 50 plus group, and we have 12 teams in the 35 plus vets. So there's two categories, and it's happening in Mabley Green. We'll go into the kickoff and all that on the next segment, or after close to after the draw, inshallah. But yes, this is what the setup is. We're expecting loads and loads of people to turn up. So before I forget, my message to everyone who's watching this, to all the players, please try to bring your children around. If you got young kids, bring them around. To, teach them what this Freedom Cup is all about. Make it a day out for the family. It's going to be a nice, sunny day, beautiful venue, good atmosphere. So yeah, bring everyone in. Yeah.
Said Bhai, heritage and culture are embedded within this tournament, from what I can see. Last year, sour memory for me, we weren't BB Legends played in the vets. We exceeded expectations. We got to the final. We were unfortunate to lose to Birmingham on penalties. I'm still smarting from it. And you think about it, some people said to me, why are you so upset and annoyed at a nothing tournament? It's understandable people will say that because it's a fledgling tournament. There's far more outstanding and established tournaments than that. So we know how our heritage and culture is embedded into this. Do you agree?
I totally agree. Yes, I think heritage has a lot to do with this. This is what we've done, or what our predecessors, what they've done, and what we've done is we've just continued doing that. And I think exactly this is what we want to do, is carry on what we're actually doing. I think it's very important that we actually do it, because if we don't, then what you'll find is the new generation that is growing up, they'll lose that meaning of heritage, or our understanding of what heritage is, exactly what we do and what is important to us, and what, the meaning of, the word heritage, how that's associates in the way that we grow up, in the way our culture is, in the way that we do things within our community. So I think when you talk about all these things, yes, it's a football tournament, but I think to us, it's not just a football tournament. It's a lot more than that. It means a lot more than that. And that's why I think there's a lot of passion that is embedded in it. And you've got teams like Birmingham that you're talking about, who won it last year. And I do believe, I think they're playing this year as well.
We got teams like, coming from, basically, players coming from all over UK. So necessary, we got teams coming from Oldham, all the way from Oldham. They won it once, I think that was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. We got people come from Birmingham, Luton. So there are people who is making the effort to make this happen, and remembering the people who lost their life, and to bring all the people together with this beautiful game of football.
I think that's a key point, Anfal just mentioned. The uniqueness about being a Freedom Cup for Bangladesh, all the players of Bengali from all parts of the UK in one venue together, exactly, celebrating together. I think it's just a brilliant moment to capture every year. It's very, very few occasions you get, your own brothers from different parts of the UK in one venue and one cause. And football is the main focus is the unity shown within the whole community. throughout the UK, and I think very, very few tournaments do that, and this is one of them, and I think that's a special, unique selling point for this tournament.
Also, if I may, and the also, you got people who is age 60 plus. There'll be people playing in that tournament on Sunday, they're age 65 plus. So that shows you the passion for the game and the respect for the tournament.
Before we go straight into the live draw, just a question for all three of you generally. Answer in whichever order you may wish to do so. But Bangladesh's fight for freedom way beyond 1971. We know we all came to a pinnacle in 1971. And there's a lot there which we'll touch upon during the show. We need a whole show dedicated to what happened during the Liberation War, prior to that, where we ended up, where we started, where we ended up. But then we look at qualities of perseverance, of patience, of unity, Are these qualities which still resonate within us, and are they important for us to inculcate within ourselves as human beings today?
I think absolutely it does, but I think one main point is that if you look at the 50 plus category, we've got 10 teams, and there's a good reason for that. And one of the reasons is most of the people were probably who's participating in the 50 plus category. Probably not most, but probably a large portion of the people who are participating were probably born before the liberation movement. So their understanding is probably far greater than the 35 plus category. And that's why I think it's really important that, because we've got quite a stronghold in the 50 plus category, it does kind of suggest that the people's understanding is there, and what they want to do is that legacy that we're actually talking about the freedom movement, about the struggle, they want to pass that information to the younger generation, and it's critically important that we do that. And yes, I'm saying that, but I think the 50 plus category, if you just look at that, I think that seems to suggest that what I'm saying, they kind of resonate that as well.
Great. Anything else to add, Bash? Great. Viewers, thanks for watching so far. We're going to take a very, very quick break. We'll be back very, very shortly. You'll be excited to hear that straight after the break. We'll wrap up our discussions, but we have two exciting live draws to take place for Sunday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon.
What have I done?
You are mistaken, officer. I don't have a single illegal person here.
He is an illegal immigrant, and he doesn't have the right to work here.
You'll be receiving a letter from Immigration Enforcement very soon.
If you had spent just £10 on the right to work check, you'd not have £60,000 fines.
Spend £10. Save up to £60,000. Yeah!
Vishal! Over there, দাম কত? বাজারে নিলে 70 আর এখন নিলে 55 তা হল আইনো ফোন দেই লন্ডন। হ্যালো ভাই, কুরবানির লাগি টাকা গুবাইছি, জলদি টাকা পাঠাও।
আইজ তো উইকেন্ড, আমি শনিবারের দিন টাকা পাঠাইতাম কিলা।
আপনি লন্ডন থেকে এখনো দুমদুমা পাবলিক রইলা। আপনি ট্যাপ সেন্ড অ্যাপ ডাউনলোড করো, কার টাকা পাঠাও মুহূর্তে।
এটা সেভ দিবা।
ট্যাপ সেন্ড অ্যাপ সেভ এবং নির্ভরযোগ্য, আমি সব সময় পাঠাই।
জাদু না ম্যাজিক বেরাইলো টাকা, ওবা নেও টাকা দেও টাকা।
বাংলাদেশে বি ক্যাশ বা ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্টে টাকা পাঠানোর জন্য জাস্ট ডাউনলোড করুন ট্যাপ সেন্ড।
গ্র্যান্ড রসুই, মায়ের মমতায় হরেক রকম বাংলা খাবার।
আমি ঘুরে ফিরে বিলেতে দিন কাটে মায়ের যতনে, মন ভরে যায় দেশি খাবারে।
গ্র্যান্ড রসুই 194 মাইল্যান্ড রোড, স্টেপনি, লন্ডন।
আইলা না ঘরের শপিং করলা না, সোনালী সুপার মার্কেটের হয় না তুলনা গো, সোনালী সুপার মার্কেটের হয় না তুলনা। সোনার বাংলার তাজা সবজি, মিঠা পানির মাছ, বছর ঘুরে সৌদা করো আছে মূল্য হ্রাস। ওল্টানার বার্মিংহামে সোনালী সুপার মার্কেটে ঘুরে একবার আসো না সোনালী সুপার মার্কেটের হয় না তুলনা গো সোনালী সুপার মার্কেটের হয় না তুলনা
Shunali Supermarket, Lodges Road, Birmingham.
At this crucial moment of the match, what can we expect from number one all-rounder Shakib Al Hassan? The team needs its crucial only 6 runs from just one ball. I think we can count on Shakib. Oh, what a bat! Where is the ball? It's gone all the way outside. It's the boundary. It's a 6. That's incredible. It has gone to the clouds.
Life is like a game. Choose the right team to win. I'm at Work Permit Cloud, British Business Immigration Champion, for bringing skilled workers to the UK.
Let Work Permit Cloud guide you through the immigration field.
And you will win the game of life.
Choose the right team to win.
Work Permit Cloud. Cloud-based solution for all your immigration needs.
And welcome back again. I've got Shiva, Lineker and Big Meeks to my right here now. And this is the moment you've all been waiting for. For everybody who's participating in the Freedom Cup on Sunday, whether you're playing, coaching, if you're a supporter, you're a sponsor, or just somebody who's interested in football in general or Bangladeshi heritage, everybody is welcome to participate, join in, come and watch the football, come and support and cheer on the teams. Now to the live draw. We are now going to go to our guests. Rashid, just very briefly, what is the format for the draw?
Basically, with the 35 plus category, we've got 12 teams, so there's 3 groups of 4. In terms of format, top 2 from each group will qualify, also 2 best third places. That information will be given to the managers in terms of how the quarterfinal, semi-final, and the final will be done. And there will be league games, so each group will have 3 games, and obviously, depending on the top 2, the 2 best third place will go through the quarterfinals. That information will be given to the managers on the WhatsApp group.
Fantastic. Now, without any delay, should we commence the draw?
Are we ready, Jans?
Yep. So, Said Bhai, you want to get the first team?
Said Bhai, you do the Group A.
Group A?
Yeah.
Right, the first team.
Oh, Wapping Vets.
Wapping Vets.
Okay, so I'll do Group B. Legacy Birmingham.
Last year's winners.
Last year winners, yes.
The holders.
Holders, yes.
Holders.
Okay. The first team for Group C is TNF.
TNF. Okay.
London based?
They are London based,
based, yes.
It's a mixture of different boroughs.
Mohammedan Vets.
Okay,
Amongst the favourites once again this year, they've had
a
resurgence this year, even with the players getting weary and old, they're still warriors at heart, and they've had a resurgence this year. Definitely up there.
Okay. So,
Fulbury.
Group B, second team, Fulbury FC.
Fulbury, very, very rosy affair there.
Yeah.
Are we going to be handing out bouquets of flowers before and after the game?
It's actually a team from one of the Upazillas. They feel they're strong enough, they want to compete.
That's good.
Right, the second team is Shoreditch Vets.
Shoreditch Vets.
Group C.
Vets, again, a very strong side.
Okay, back to Group A again.
Someone knows this team? Beaumont Masters?
Hopefully they can do something this year.
I think
it's a team desperately trying to win.
I think Rashid Bhai would love to pick this one up.
Yeah. Already Mohammedan Vets. Wow, that's a tough group already.
Okay, so Group B, third team, Camden Vets.
Camden Vets.
Again, a very strong side.
Yeah. Again, very good one.
All right, the third team for Group C is Impact FC, a team mainly based in North London.
Very good name. Very impressive name.
Final team for Group A. Etra FC.
Okay, it's another London-based team.
Okay, the last two. Look. Okay. The last team on group Northwest London.
Okay, Northwest United. Northwest United, yeah.
Yes, Northwest. Oh,
United.
Pardon me, Northwest United. My apologies.
Okay, and the last team of Group C is Bengal Spartan, team from Luton. Again, a very strong contender for the title.
Okay, so.
Okay, just to confirm, obviously you've got Group A is Wapping Vets, Mohammedan Vets, Bowman Masters, and Etra FC. Group B, Legacy Birmingham, Fulbury FC, Camden Vets, and Northwest United. Group C, TNF, Shoreditch Vets, Impact FC, and Bengal Spartans FC.
I think, Rash, is safe to say that Group A is the easy one.
You know what? I'm looking at.
Is that?
I think 3 contenders are in one group. So
in one group itself. So
Etra could be surprised. Obviously, one day tournaments we can never say never. But on paper, I think there'll be a disappointment if one of the team doesn't get through. But there is the off chance of the third.
I think it's evenly.
Nah, look at the Group A is too strong.
Legacy Birmingham, Fulbury, Camden Vets. Then you have Shoreditch on the
But with one-day tournaments, it doesn't work exactly 100%. How you plan it. Exactly. On the day depends on who's more hungrier, who turns up, the squad size, and the luck. Yeah. And because it's shorter games, it sometimes benefits the weaker side. They can play defensive, up the bus, so to speak. And it may work. So it's up for maybe favourites or not so favourite, but on the day it's everyone's game. So hopefully. It's best of luck to all trophies.
Will you just read them out again, Rash?
Yeah.
So Group A.
Group A is Wapping Vets, Mohammedan Vets, Bowman Masters, and Etra FC. Group B is Legacy Birmingham, Fulbury FC, Camden Vets, and Northwest United. Group C is TNF, Shoreditch Vets, Impact FC, and Bengal Spartan FC from Luton.
Great. Right. We're not still done yet. So going back to you now. So as a kid, I remember you playing for the great BYM team in the 70s and the 80s. I had 2 uncles who actually played alongside you. That Rocky Sandpitch on the Burner Estate, and then we had Bigland Park, which is now Bigland School now.
Yeah.
Very, very disappointed to remember when Bigland School was being built because we lost a lot of our footballing heritage. Obviously, needs must. Houses needed to be, the houses were being built, the community and the population locally were increasing. And at the same time, we needed facilities like schools to be built. One school was not enough or sufficient for the population there at the time. So we lost, a great footballing tradition and a heartland from that locality. So from your experience, you've been there through the 70s, 80s, 90s. You played in the Siddharth District over 50s team. You're still very, very active with Active 50. How has the role and the profile of Bangladeshi heritage footballers changed in the UK?
I think for myself, if I look at it, first, I would say the first 2 decades, things were kind of quite static. We enjoyed our games. We enjoyed the way that we actually played. We enjoyed the way it was actually organized, the setup, and also the environment where we actually played. We have a lot of fond memories. And obviously, like you've just actually mentioned, it's no longer there. So obviously, a lot of fond memories. Well, it's sad that we've actually lost those venues. But in saying that, I think we have actually gained others to actually kind of keep that momentum going. So obviously, places like Mabley Green, at our time, maybe we didn't, it was probably there, but it wasn't for us to actually go there and play. We played locally with the Sandpitch. Behind Burners and Bigland Park. But yeah, it has changed, but I think it's still there. It's still there. It's still there. And I think our generation and the generation after us, I think they've kind of kept that going. So in terms of us actually playing the game, enjoying the game, the beautiful game, I think that's continued. Not only has it continued, I think it has improved, I have to say, in certain sectors. Maybe. I think obviously maybe we could have done better, but let's not go there. But I think it has improved in certain sectors. And for us to kind of keep that going is, I suppose, one of our aim. And that's basically what we're doing. just to ensure that for the community, for the people, they can actually continue playing, continue enjoying the game.
Rashid, again, talking about heritage, we're talking about the sand pitch on the Burner Estate, and we're talking about Bigland Park. But you grew up in the shadows of the Gut.
That is the most iconic.
The most iconic place. The most iconic. I played there several times.
I know so many people from the 80s that started their football, let's call it career, or their attachment with football with the Gut, and now they're in big positions in chairman's organizations, managers, etc. So the Gut had a big role to play. It was a big meeting point, social point, means of expressing themselves. And it did actually galvanize so many individuals in terms of the footballing career. Even if you look at now, most of the established teams, the chairmen or the secretaries are from the Gut, because Gut was the unique and the place of, I would say, in my opinion, birth of Bangladeshi football was the Gut. And it's still there. And the sand pitch, they were there, but I think Gut started it. Gut was the first.
It gives you goosebumps. Just it gives us all goosebumps just talking about these memories, because these kind of memories will never ever be recreated. Unfortunately, those were the times where people struggled to buy boots. People were doing full-time jobs. Again, we're very proud of our youngsters, but because we're such a supportive community, we can buy our children, or we can make the sacrifices needed to buy our children expensive football kit gear. It's not cheap to play football, expensive brands of boot. The challenges then were very, very different. Not only was football an outlet in terms of physical, mental health, well-being, but football was also, like you just mentioned, that it was a way of expressing ourselves. It was also a way of uniting communities. When the National Front were working down Brick Lane and Commercial Road and Cannon Street, football was one of those things that brought us together. We couldn't participate in various different leagues because we weren't welcomed there.
That's correct.
As a simple result. So because of Bangladeshis, to put the correct term, being such enterprise, we have always been very, very enterprising people.
To be honest, you touched the base. That's how the Football League was formed, purely to entertain or provide a facility, a platform for the local teams in town hamlets. That was how 24 years ago the organization was born. And touching on about the legacy and future, there are now throughout UK a lot of youngsters, under 16s, under 12s, under 8s, gain into academies. So hopefully in the future, one of the players I forgot to mention will be playing for Bowman Masters. He actually is a professional coach. He does under 21 in Abu Dhabi. He's here for 4 weeks, and he said he's going to play. So it just shows how much we've grown as individuals from within Tamlis as Bengalis. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely brilliant. That's a massive statement.
Yeah.
If I can quickly add, I think one of the things that from our generation playing football and that continuity, we've had that continuity. And I think, the pace has accelerated because we're doing a lot more in terms of community events, community football tournaments and so on. And I think that's been really pivotal in the role that some of the organizations like ILFL who have been around and BFA, it's been pivotal in terms of the role that they have actually played within the community. Because what it's actually done is it's actually kept the youngsters engaged in something that is really important, something that they've actually enjoyed. And what it's actually done as well is it's actually kept them away from things like crime, getting into drugs and so on. Not that it's not there, but it's actually kept them away from all that.
Anwar Bhai, you're a parent, you're a very proud parent, and we're also very proud uncles in that regard as well. And every time I talk to you about this, about Ikram, your son, or I see a mention of this, you can't just help but feel your pride and happiness towards it as well. So I'm asking you to put your parental hat on here. What's the biggest benefits that you've seen from Ikram, your own son, being involved, not just football at his level with his peers, but he's also played for Bishnat, for example. He goes to every single, I know this for a fact, that he goes to every single Bishnat training session. He knows he's got no chance. He doesn't qualify for the squad because he's not 35, nowhere near 35. But he turns up to all the training sessions because he wants to be around the aura, the personalities. He wants to train with them boys. Obviously, he's got dreams of one day playing for them as well. What benefits have you as a parent? And Ikram, how has he benefited from being involved in football at all these levels?
Like you said, as a parent, I couldn't be more prouder. What Ikram playing for Ikram playing football and the group that he plays football, it keeps him one. I'm very, very happy to say my boys, I've got 2 boys. Ikram is 19, young, but the way the people who he mingles with, he knows who to mingle with. They have friend circle, and I'm probably going to get quoted on this. The team that he play and manage on Monday, Super 7 League of Rashid, all the groups, I never ever witnessed one of them boys smoking or anything wrongdoing, basically. So they have, this is what football and that friendship and that group of people doing. And there's 2, I'll give you, what they're actually doing is they have 3 friends from school which they play football with. One of them, he converted to Islam. He made Shahada. So this is the impact they actually made on him. There's another boy called there's another Stephen, I think. He turned he converted to Muslim as well. A 3rd one on the way. So what this football doing is keeping them out of trouble, keeping them healthy, well-being, and knowing the roots or the culture and their religious purpose as well. So everything is coming within that group. I see these boys, what they do is on the break time, they pray in Jama'ah. And out of these 13, 14 boys, they all have the ability to lead Jama'ah. This is, you can't be more prouder.
Just leadership upon leadership.
Yeah, leadership. I mean, they're out of 12, 13 boys. I mean, they went to madrasa. They've been doing hifz. Ikram done hifz. So that tells you, the goodness.
Important question. Is Ikram still continuing with this hifz?
He's stopped now because of his thingy, but inshallah, he's very, very determined to continue.
So and I need to have some personal words later.
100%, 100%.
I have a question for all 3 of you. This is something which I've been passionate for a long time. So, Rashid, you're, in my opinion, probably the world's #1. And I'm not just saying this because you're in the studio. It's been something I've strongly believed in. When it comes to grassroots engagement of veteran footballers, I can't see anywhere in the world where they've got a movement. The ILFL is not just a league or football management program, it's a movement. I can't see any other project like this in the world, let alone the UK. The level of engagement, the way things work out, the dedication, obviously is completely 110% volunteer-led as run as well. And you've got 2 guys from the Active 50. You've got a heritage of representing Sylhet District in the UK District Cup, Bangladesh District Cup, Sylhet District Cup, going back to 1780. So the question I have for you guys as a trio here is this, and I'm putting you on the spot on the sports show is, Bangladeshi heritage when it comes to football is a proud tradition in the UK. Why are we not, as a community now? Because we're not stuck for resources. We're not stuck for ability. There was a time where we didn't have people who had the articulation to have these kind of shows or write about them. 1 out of every 100 SASAs, everybody would flock to them to do their benefits forms, their this form, their that form, this, that, the other. Now we've got people that, why are we not formally documenting our football history? I'm not talking about our Bangladeshi football history in the UK. When I talk about football history, the movement behind the football history, the thinking, we said the racism played a big part of us sticking together as well. The personalities within the game, the good players that were there, the legendary icons who were there, the managers who were there. Why are we not doing this? Why are we not documenting this? And what do we need to do? Maybe you might think, after I pose the question, this is actually a really, really good idea, and we should actually get together a working party to start doing this. And I would like to lead on this as well. But why haven't we done this? And should we do this? And how should we do this? This is a question for all 3, starting with Rashid.
Okay, I think it's a very good question. It will require a lot of time to fully discuss so many avenues and factors. But the key factor I will emphasize today is that, as Anwar Bhai said, the means of football is so beneficial, not just physically, but mentally. What we need is people in our community, business owners. We need the council. We need the support. The support structure, financial support is not there. So at the moment in time, my organization is fully self-funded, and we don't get any grants, etc. Similar to 50 Active. So we are restricted in our capacity. The Super 7 on Monday, we want to expand it, but there's no facility, and again, finance interrupts. Luckily, the vets, as you mentioned, we do on a Thursday night. We have 35 teams, 5 divisions. That was because the passion of the players from the 80s and 90s is doing it. Even the FA said that's the biggest 7-a-side vets league in UK. But for us to continue, we need more support from our Bangladeshi business people or community leaders to come forward and say, we'll try and help you. We're not getting that. And also, I will urge the council to even get on board and support us, not just our organization, various sports organizations within the borough. That support structure is not there because obviously they may have other priorities or other factors stopping them. But I think that's one of the areas stopping us from expanding, doing more. We as a two organizations can do more. The facility, we need more facility. We need more financial assistance, not just give us money, but just to support teams, because finance makes a big difference to teams staying established for a long period of time, because a lot of the youth teams cannot afford to pay the subs, etc. So those are two factors I'll say. The communities, and that's why we, in this Freedom Call Sunday, which we do every year, we recognize someone within the Bangladesh community who's contributed to the sports, not just football, any sports or charities. So every year we recognize someone to pay him the respect so that others can say, you know what, that's my role model. I want to be someone like that. I want to be recognized by these sports organizations for doing such fantastic work as a volunteer for not just football, but sports in general and charity. So we're looking to recognize and promote. Hopefully other organizations do the same thing. So they become role models, and hopefully the future generation look up and say they want to do the same thing.
Do you agree? We started losing a few personalities. The standout one, boss from Newark. We lost him a few. So we're starting to lose a few of the people now. Some of the people you played with, Said Bhai, we're going to start losing them soon. We're going to start losing them soon. Now, should we start preserving that heritage in history?
I 100% agree, and it's almost, I'm going to echo what Rashid Bhai said. I think our vets are more passionate about football rather than the youth, and this is where our responsibility is to encourage this young generation and the youth and support them, not just turning up on the training or making making a platform for them to come and play a game, financially as well. All the again, echo the business people need to come out. Listen, I'm not going to dig on anyone, but please don't get me wrong. We see so many events happening around Tower Hamlets and everywhere. Either they could be a song concert or whatever, and we see thousands of people, thousands of pounds are invested on this, but not many come forward to support such sports as like football and keeping the youngsters. We keep repeating ourselves. We need to come out and support these youngsters. We keep talking about okay, we have so much talent in our Bengali community. People come and play football, they go home and sleep. Why? Because we're not supporting them. We're not knocking, like you mentioned, Boss Bhai. I hear stories that every Sunday he used to go to people's houses and knock on the doors to come and play football. Yeah. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. What we're doing is we're sending an WhatsApp group. Sending a message on the WhatsApp group, boys training or football or match on that day, and that's it. If you turn up, turn up. If you don't turn up, then on top of that, we're charging people, the players, to make contribution personally. Why? Because we're not getting financial support. I think people, please do need to come out and support this. Sports keeps the youngsters out of trouble. It keeps them disciplined. This is what, it gives them a better future. Discipline. If they come and play football, if they come and play badminton, I'm not just talking about football and badminton. I'm talking about sports as in whole. Support, however, where you can, and leave the legacy, because today and tomorrow you're going to go, I'm going to go, all the generation before, they just left us. And we're doing this voluntarily, much as possible. But as you know, doing a full-time, supporting your family, doing whatever needs to be done, and giving your time as a volunteer is a hard job. The more is merrier, more is better, more people need to come up and support this.
Said Bhai. So we got people like Boss Bhai, we got Kadir Bhai, another exceptional name there as well. This week we suffered the sad loss of Jewel Mia MBE from Oldham. These are phenomenal figures from within our community. Gone too soon.
I knew them brother personally.
There's nobody who could say a wrong word, simply. And then we are losing these people from within our community. Rashid made a very important point. Anfar Bhai touched on that as well. The worrying thing here is those who grew up in the 70s, 80s, played also during the 80s and 90s, they're still running the show simply because of the passion. It's not necessarily, we're not more educated than our youngsters. No. They're far better off because of our sweat, and our toil and whatever we've done to implement all that and all the hardships that our generations faced and the generations before that. Our children have got it relatively easy. They have opportunities that we would never have had. So there's no lacking, but the passion is missing. We have to call, we have to call a spade a spade. The passion is missing there. How are we going to get that balance right? Because all of a sudden now, when you start managing these teams, I had the World Cup last Sunday. I had certain players who they weren't really bothered. They weren't motivated to put on the Bangladesh shirt simply because they had other better things to do. Other better things to do could be a family barbecue, etc., etc. They had a work to do. They just wanted to rest. That's one thing. That baffled me. The other one was they had other football tournaments, like the Village Cup, for example. And me as a coach, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, time to represent. So what happens is, in terms of heritage, history, and priorities, it changes. And you will face a situation in the future where we are almost self-funding. The Bangladesh team, I self-funded it. I didn't have a sponsor, but because I've never had a sponsor, I put my Book Bike charity logo on there. But it's entirely funded by myself, simply because of the passion that I have for my heritage and the opportunity given to me fully. We're going to have a time where we're going to have a black hole there, aren't we?
Absolutely. I think there is going to be a black hole, and I think one of the things is you have to discuss, you have to talk about these things. And unless you talk about these things, you don't realize the extent of exactly where we are and the damage and what we're actually going to be losing. But I think it's also having the vision to actually realize that this is how it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. This is how it is now. And the changes, I think you have to realize the change. And the passion that we're actually talking about, yes, the passion isn't the same. I think the passion is still there, maybe not the same way. But I think that maybe has to do with, I don't know, the way people are growing up, the environment, what's around them, and what they actually see when they're actually growing up. And there's a lot of options. Maybe back then we didn't have all these options. One of the things is the techie stuff, the computers and all the other stuff. You've got all that. We didn't have that before. So we were focused on one thing. Now I think they have probably more than one lens that they can actually look at. So what are they actually going to go for? Football or all the other elements? So that's one question that we probably need to ask ourselves, probably need to look at and see. I think one of the things that we've actually touched as well is very important, and that is actually two things. One is funding, and two, commitment. The commitment of people is there because we're all willing to actually work and provide a service for the community. But I think one of the things that we actually struggle with is funding. How do we actually finance it? And we've actually struggled even with this tournament or other tournaments. I think ILFL are in a good position to actually kind of, say that, because they, I see a lot of the tournaments that they actually do. So funding is a fundamental role. If we can overcome that, then I think we can overcome a lot of the hurdles. I think the other point as well is the council. I think maybe the council needs to come in and help out in some ways.
I think I'm going to make a shout to all the high profile of our community. Please do come forward and invest in this youth. Okay, I think we got tournament, Open Age tournament coming up. Thanks to the organizers for, it's been long waiting. I think we need to do more of this to engage the youth, engage the youngsters, the Open Age players.
I agree with you.
Yes.
When we're short-sighted, we don't realize. To a lot of people, especially administrators, it's just a football tournament. But what they don't realize is by investing a little bit into, for example, ILFL, running a particular sports program, they're saving millions in these particular youths, for example, becoming embroiled in antisocial behavior in the future as well. So if there are politicians out there, and if you're watching our political leaders, whether it's the mayor, councillors, or anybody who's watching as well, and appeal to you, you have been put there by the people for a specific reason. You are there to represent the people. You are there to represent the interests of the people. If you are as foresighted and farsighted as we all believe you to be, this is the reason why we voted you in as well. You would look at projects like this, and you will look beyond the sports element and the recreational element, and recognize the fact that investment in these type of projects, the 50 Active Group, the Inner London Football League, and anybody else who are participating in actually getting the youth together, even delivering projects like the Freedom Cup. This is very, very, it's been a great discussion here about how to engage with the community. But what are they achieving in the long term? Through football, we are cutting down on knife crime. We are cutting down on fraud, dishonesty, you name it, antisocial behavior, theft, gang violence, you name it, the list could go on and on. So please do, if you're watching this show, please do spare some thought. There is a reason why you are in political office, and your career is also short. It's actually shorter than a footballer's career. And what you want to do is be remembered for the right reasons, the legacy that you leave behind. Now,
sorry, if I just may add to your what you said, like, we're just talking about football here. It's not necessarily just football. I mean, everyone. Look, there are kids out there brilliant at football, really, really good at it. They're playing football. But there is other people who doesn't like football, but they're into basketball, they're into badminton, they're into swimming. So it's not just necessarily football, but we need to get involved and do whatever we can for the youngsters to make them a better people and make them, leave that legacy behind us. This is where they're going to remember you, and this is how we're going to move our generation forward.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to proceed. Again, everybody's very excited, and everybody's probably getting itchy feet now. This is the main part. As far as I'm concerned, it's the 50 plus, the draw for the 50 plus. Now, you've got Peter Shilton and Jim Layton on your right and left, safe hands. The reason why I use the goalkeeping innuendos here, last time somebody dropped the ball and I immediately got a message straight after saying that was a fix. This is how ruthless our community are, and rightfully so. So please, a word of warning, no dropping the balls, please.
I'll hold it. What did he do? I'll hold it. I'll hold it, don't worry.
First team for Group A.
Group A, yeah?
50 plus, Group 50 A, first team.
I'm just putting it outside.
Okay.
Shell. That's GG and BB legends.
That's me.
That's
fantastic.
So you're managing one of the teams.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic.
Actually.
Okay.
It's a combined Biani Bazar and Gulaf Coins team.
Okay, that should be interesting.
Group B this time.
Group B, 50 plus.
Now that you've mentioned it, I have to be careful with this. Okay, I've got FC Bengal Tigers.
FC Bengal Tigers, well done and welcome to the Freedom Cup.
This is the last one. Okay.
Second team.
Second team. I bet is. Let me just not pick my team. Okay. Bedford Bengal.
Bedford Bengals, welcome to the Freedom Cup.
Okay. The second team from Group B is our local team, Charity.
Charity. Great work these guys do, playing football 12 months a year, raising thousands of pounds for charity.
Yes.
Inspirational team.
Okay, third team for Group A. Oldham Unity.
Oldham Unity.
Previous winners. So we're doing Group B, third team. Legacy Birmingham.
Legacy again, the holders. They did a double last year.
That way you can't drop it. You can't.
Okay. Group A, fourth team. So Ali's 15. I think somebody knows his team.
That's somebody on the panel here. Own up. Whose team is that?
Superstars team.
Previous winner.
Previous winners.
Okay. So I was hoping I was going to pick that team. Okay, 60 Club.
The favorites.
That's
60 club.
They're definitely
So-
favourites.
best team.
Definitely the favourites.
Favourites on paper, on age.
You take it.
Right. Right, last team for Group A is OC Active Masters.
Okay. So they're based in London as well for this one.
All right.
Last.
But not
For
least.
Group B. Oh, wrong way. That's why.
Who we gonna have? Camden Vets.
Camden Vets.
Okay.
Camden Vets. Well done.
Okay.
And that
So-
concludes the draw. So would one of the guests please read out the groups?
So you do,
I
Rashid.
can say Group A is GG plus BB, that's Scholar Coins and Benwas and Legends, Bedford Bengals, Oldham Unity, Alice 15, and OC Active Masters. Group B is FC Bengal Tigers, MM Charity, Legacy Birmingham, 60 Club, and Camden Vets. And with that, obviously, top two from each will go through to the semi-final and the final itself. And all the information regarding the minutes, etc., the rules will be sent to the managers later on today. And the other thing is, I'll emphasize, especially with the 35, we're going to start early in the morning. So the meeting time is going to be 9:30. Teams have to be present. We're going to start bang on at 10 o'clock. So try arrive early, do the registration at 9:30. Games will kick off from 10 o'clock. So all the 35 plus and the 50 plus, they'll start from after 11 a.m. So registration has to be done by then.
How comes the 50 plus get a lying rash?
Obviously, with their age consideration, we have to give them that extra rest. But in fairness, it's the facility. We need to, obviously, we have two pitches. We have to try and utilize the best possible. That's one of the things we could have done more categories, but due to restriction of facilities, we have to restrict it. And hopefully, again, in the future, if we get to a bigger venue, we may have other categories make it a bigger event.
Guys, thank you very much. I'm hoping you'll all come back to the show again when we've got a champion and we can talk all about it.
Definitely.
This is a community sports channel at the end of the day. And, we welcome our guests. We like to narrate the story from beginning to end, not just come on, do your bit and go, but we like the before and we also like the after as well. Going forward, again, thanks to all my guests for attending here today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody who's watching, if you're male or female. The Freedom Cup has become an annual event, but it's also a very important and historical event. Now, when it comes to Bangladeshis, and this is a Bangladeshi football tournament, it is about our heritage, it is about our culture as well. Bangladeshis are a tenacious group of people. And I say that, why? Because we survived a genocide. I keep reminding people again and again that we are a people who survived a genocide. There were people out there who were ready to wipe us out as a group of people, but also as a nation as well. Not only did we withstand that, we lost many, many shaheeds and martyrs to the cause as well, but we've risen up and we have excelled throughout the decades and created our own heritage here in history. On this regard, the Freedom Cup is more than just football. It's also a rich spectacle of the contributions made by many, many Bangladeshi footballers, and we touched on the aspects of the issues that they faced, playing through the mud, but also experiencing poverty, making many, many personal sacrifices, facing racism on a long-term basis to enable our community to reach the stage where it is now. I'm Mdad, the Wandering Londoner, and I'm thanking you all for joining us in the sports show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.